Namaste, Jai Bharat. Though one do not want to talk more about Pakistan, things are so striking when one is forced and compelled to talk. We see many reaction videos, from the Pakistani bloggers or YouTubers, and then what we see, many people in Bharat at least see these things for entertainment, and they have fun. They really have good fun of what these people are speaking. For instance, they keep speaking big things. They say that today morning someone was telling that we are great players in Asia. What play they do, who knows? Now, see, another thing is that you find every Tom, Dick, and Harry having a given opinion, and very calculated and authentic and founded opinion about everything, and they speak that. See, we say these things as Lahori. That is based on the Lahori character of saying so many things out of nothing. It's Shakespeare who wrote the play Much Ado About Nothing. And what they do is much about nothing. Speak. There's nothing in it. But then there's no end and there's a limit to talking things. Generally, there are some sensible people. For instance, there is one Tadat. He doesn't speak nonsense, he speaks sense. Then one Chimaji, I think he's a PhD, Dr. Chima, if I'm not wrong. He also doesn't speak nonsense. These people talk sense, but they're very few in number. General public, there are many other YouTubers, I don't want to take their names. They go around and ask people out there in the street, all kinds of people. They are very selective in asking questions to people. All kinds of people they ask questions. And these people are really, they speak as though they know everything and then give such very authentic answers, confidentially they give. And of course you can imagine what may be the content of their answers. Many times I hear them saying that Pakistan has got talent, only thing we have no platform to express it, we have no opportunities to realize or materialize our talent. This is what many people say normally or most often. Where do you think you have talents? You have no talents like that. What is really the problem of Pakistan? Nobody is addressing. The real problem of Pakistan is real problem, which is very concrete, and no one is addressing. Even these very good people whom I said about this Dr. Chima and this Mr. Shri Tadat, they also can't address that thing, because if they talk about that, then their existence within the Pakistani society, some of them are living abroad, is jeopardized. So even that question nobody is addressing. The real problem in Pakistan is that, you see, I mentioned even before also, there is an Iqbal version of Islam in their minds. And they have Iqbaliyat, like Islamiyat in their curriculum. Iqbaliyat and Islamiyat. So Iqbal, Muhammad Iqbal, the poet, is a poet and is a PhD, if I'm not wrong, in philosophy, West European speculative philosophy, and Iqbal has no limit of speculation. Of course, European philosophers also don't have any limit of speculations per se as such. Iqbal speculates, fantasizes, speculates about Islam. I don't know which point in his life he entered into speculating of Islam. There were other speculators also of Islam, for instance, Syed Ahmad Khan, and the other person who came from Iran, who disguises himself as Afghani. He's not Afghani, he's not a Pathan, he's a Shia from Iran. That is Jamaluddin, but he names himself as Afghani for political reasons. Understood. So this version of Islam as Iqbal gives, and Iqbal speaks of Islam as a polity and a unity, many other things. And he is accusing the European states for delinking religion, Christianity from state. Iqbal wants state and Islam to be one together, and that's typically in line with this Dar-ul-Islam concept. He wants Islam to be state religion, and that precisely is the problem of Pakistanis. It's not the problem with Islam, but it's a problem with the way you look at Islam. That is, Pakistanis take Islam as Iqbal's version, the Iqbalian interpretation or perception of Islam, the Iqbalian version of Islam. That is the only problem with you, and to get yourself delinked for Iqbalian version of Islam shall take at least 2 generations. At least 2 generations it will take. Your entire state, entire Pakistani state is built upon this Iqbalian version of Islam, and you have these multiple madrasas where you create madrasa products. Wherever they go, they have no redemption. Whichever extent they get educated, they have no redemption. Fundamentally, they remain a madrasa product, and that edifies is that madrasa edifies. They have no escape from that, and there is no redemption for them. All the substructure is madrasa education. The substructure is this Iqbalian version of Islam, and whatever you put on them by way of education or anything, or even a culturization, it only goes as superstructure, where the superstructure is determined by substructure in this case. Not necessarily always. Not necessarily. In structuralism also we oppose that the superstructure is determined by substructure. Given a context, yes, that is. But it is not necessary that context should remain every time. But in case of Pakistan, the madrasa substructure determines whatever superstructure you put. There's no point. There's no point. Many people are really very ambitious, saying that education can redeem them. No way. Because you educate upon madrasa edifies. You have a particular version of Islam. You have an escape from that. You have no escape from that. You don't understand Islam in an appropriate way. Like, for example, the Arab world understands Islam. That you refuse to accept, because you are adoring, you are accepting the Iqbalian version of Islam as something actually non-existent. This creates other problems in Pakistani society. And whatever you see, you keep saying that we have talents, but you don't have any talents, because talents are not developed. Right from the childhood, you just focus and direct your minds to these kind of way. How can a talent develop until you have freedom of thought? You can't have that. So you don't have talent. Number 2, very boisterous about having atom bomb. My God, atom bomb is not a chair that is made and kept, will continue for some years like that. No, it has a time limit, and you may have to keep what you call brushing it up, polishing it up, maintaining it. You have not made it by yourselves. You just borrowed things from someone and made it for the names, and you can't use it. You won't be able to use that. In all likelihood, if you try to use it, it will explode then and there, right at the same place where you're trying to operate on it. So the fundamental problem with Pakistan is that your madrasa education based on the Muhammad Iqbalian version of Islam. Iqbal is a great poet, undoubtedly, but he has fantasized into religion and created a fantasy out of Islam, and that his theory is printed. Actually, that's an address which he, when he was president, he gave a presidential address in 1940, if I'm not wrong, in the All India Muslim League's annual conference, Other leaders were absent because they were all for a round table conference in London. So Iqbal was the chairman of the conference, and he gave a talk, long time, and the talk when it got printed, it came to 22 pages, and that becomes the basis of understanding of Islam in Pakistan today. And others must have worked on it. Others have worked on it to that extent. See, there is a saying. I think it is K.K. Aziz who wrote The Idea of Pakistan, a historian. He, of course, had to flee Pakistan and live in London later. And he says something very interesting. He says, if you prepare a bibliography of works done on Iqbal, that is, if you prepare a bibliography of books written or works done on Iqbal, that bibliography will run into thousands of pages. That much of work had been done. And then you see, these works are not authentic. X is writing something and Y is quoting X, and Z is quoting Y, and they are quoting one another, referring to one another. It's nowhere near any kind of reality. Each one quoting one another and keeps writing Iqbaliyat. And far from what Muhammad Iqbal must have originally thought. His thought was fantasy. Poets naturally will be romantic. He romanticized, fantasized, and spoke all kinds of things about Islam as a unity, as a polity, and all kinds of things. He thought Islam is a unifying factor, unifying force. Look at the world, look at Pakistan. Is it a unifying force? And then he wants it to be polity. That is typically the Darul Islam style. He wants that to be official state religion. He wants everyone to be Muslims. This kind of attitude, that you can't coexist in a multiple world. See, the nature of nature is multiplicity and plurality. You can't coexist in a society which is multiple and plural. With this kind of attitude, you will be fish out of water. You will be misfit, unfit, unacceptable by others. And you have to understand that the world is multiple and plural, and that is the heterogeneity is the beauty of reality, and homogeneity is killing oneself. That it's not dynamic, it's static. There's no life, there's no progress forward, there's nothing. So the problem with Pakistan is the way they understand religion, the way they treat religion, the way they impose religion, the way they educate religion. It's a wrong way. You can't accuse a religion for that, but it's a method you adopt to understand religion. It's a wrong way. And you can never redeem yourselves with this attitude, and no one in the Pakistani frame can address this. They can't address this because then they'll be singled out and punished. They have wonderful punishments, throwing stones to kill, all kinds of things, in the most barbaric way, which they wanted to be most modern. They think it's most apt, scientific, appropriate. So the problem with the society of Pakistani is the way they had been understanding religion. I gave the name, it's the Iqbalian version of Islam. But much more than they have expanded on it to an unimaginable extent. That's why I was quoting K.K. Aziz. If you prepare a bibliography of the work done on Islam, the bibliography will run into thousands of pages. That's the story. How you can escape, how you can redeem yourself is actually a problem, but it also becomes our concern, the concern of others who are near and around you. It disturbs others. Even if others want to exist in peace, coexist in peace, you are unable and incapable of living a peaceful life, and then you claim that you are peacefuls. That's why people call people as peacefuls instead of peacefuls. It's not a very pleasant thing to discuss, but unfortunately, yes. So till we meet again, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Shri Ram.